Hey guys, Joe Sarge will keep pushing through. Today we're going to go back. We're going to go way back to the 1900s. And I'm going to talk to you guys today about how I got to where I am with my healthy lifestyle. Let's go. So in my previous video, I said that there was a lot of things that I could probably relate to with a lot of people who are trying to start their own journey to a healthy lifestyle. So I figured the best way to be able to prove that would just be to explain where I've come from. In the 90s, when I was in my 20s, I was 10 foot tall and bulletproof, like most people who were in their 20s. There was a lot of cigarette smoking, a lot of beer drinking, a lot of pop, tons of pop. I was roughly 217 pounds, which unbeknownst to me was not going to be my heaviest. At the age of 30, I had a little bit of a health scare. It was a mass. Fortunately, it was nothing serious. That's when I decided it was probably best to start getting my life in check and figuring out what I'm going to do with myself as far as living a bit healthier. I put down the cigarettes. That was one of the first things. I also started to develop an exercise routine and a nutrition plan as far as what I should be taking in. I was very fortunate. I have a brother who most of you know is a very athletic person. He has his own business now. Coach Tony from TKS Athletics has studied this stuff since he was in his teens and was able to help me along the way as far as reading nutrition labels, understanding what I'm actually eating and putting into my body, helping me develop routines that made sense. I did this until about 2007. I was to be married in 2008, wanted to get ready for the wedding, and had a honeymoon coming up in Jamaica. Became a big proponent of Beachbody's P90X program, was able to shred a lot of weight and keep it off until around 2010. In 2010, I was down to about 187 pounds. I developed a problem with my knee, and it meant that I couldn't work out. What I didn't know was this was an issue that was dealing also with my back that would eventually lead to an early retirement from work and the inability to exercise the way I'd been for all these years. At this point, I couldn't even as much as walk as my knee was in a brace. And they were very unclear for at least a year as to what the problem could be. In 2011, they found that I had something called a spondylolisthesis. Basically, one of the vertebrae in my spine is popped out, causing two herniated discs, and there is some nerve damage there, which happened to be right on my belt line. So it's obvious I could not do things as I was doing at that time when these problems began to present themselves. P90X one week and Shaun T's Insanity the following week. So now I'm off work, I can't exercise, and I'm already starting to notice after a year's time that I've put on some weight, which wasn't due to just not exercising. See, I thought this was all temporary. So I figured I could probably just, I'll eat, and when I'm better, I'll go ahead and get back on my diet plan and I'll get this weight right off. No problem. Did it before, I'll do it again. As the weight came on and I couldn't exercise, I became a bit depressed. And in that depression, I'd start eating. And then I would gain more weight and become more depressed and then eat again. So you could see the cycle, and it just kept happening. And then what would happen is I would have these aha moments. I'm just going to start eating the way that I did when I worked because that worked for me to lose weight. Unfortunately, where I'm at right now is where I work now. And you can see what's right behind me. So it was very easy to start eating out of boredom, eating out of, emotional eating. I began to develop a sugar addiction. More on that in a later video. And then 2014 came. In 2014, I was 243 pounds. I went from 187 to 243. I was diagnosed pre-diabetic. I was on statin medication for my cholesterol and triglycerides. So now I found myself taking all these medications for things that are directly related to weight gain. I went through this up and down yo-yo dieting for 2 years, where I would lose 5 pounds, but I'd starve myself to do it. I'd do it the wrong way. And I would end up gaining it. And then, of course, now I'm depressed that I gained the weight back, and I would gain even more. And then I would come down 10 pounds, back up 6 pounds. And this thing kept teetering back for 2 whole years. And it was very, very discouraging, but I kept trying, but I kept failing. And then 2016 happened. In 2016, I went to Legoland in Orlando with my family for a vacation. I got on one of the rides to ride with one of my son's friends, and they brought down the bar to put over me, and it wouldn't click. Look, I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you, it's that was my final moment. And as you'll see in my before and after picture that I'll put on the screen right now, I was not a very little person. That evening, we went back to our condo, and when everybody went to sleep, I started to do a little research because something has got to be out there to help me. Some pill, some drink, something, because I've tried and I can't do it by myself. I found a YouTube video titled He Got Real With Him. Now, this was a rap battle, okay? And understand that really the better the cut down, the more points you get. And seriously, whoever it is that you're cutting down will appreciate the fact that you can burn them so bad. Before I show you guys even this part, it comes off as extremely brutal, but it spoke volumes to me. It made me understand, no, I can do it by myself. That I don't really need, a something to help me. I don't need a magic pill to help me or anything else like that. So take a look.
He's got a million ways to sweeten cakes, but not one way to lean his face in. Always room for cheese and bacon, but let me guess. The greens were taken, but people treat it like it's a disease, a sickness to be mediated. Misleading statements from the media, they deviated. Like it's fat shaming, I can't take it. I'm trying to decrease your weight, and that benefits you, so you can show some appreciation. I mean, the fact that you're fat says so much about you as a man. No long-term goals, no perseverance. You can't stick to a plan. You only care about yourself. You're stuck in your selfish ways.
It was those words, says so much about you as a man, that just hit me like a sack of bricks. Because, I was there at Legoland with my kids and I couldn't participate. The very next morning, I began a walking regimen. I began watching the foods that I'm putting in my mouth because, folks, let's face it, if you want to lose weight, your meal plan is already right here. When we get food, we know what we're supposed to be eating, what we should be eating, and what we should not. So guys, that's my time for this video. I'm looking forward to the next video where we're going to talk about diets, what they are, what they mean, what's a good idea for you, what a good option may or may not be, and what you should look into before you enter into one. Until then, Joe Sarge, encouraging you to just keep pushing through. Take care.